Before you start looking at homes, there's one piece of paperwork most buyers sign without fully understanding. The problem is, if you don't fully understand this form, you could end up locked up in a relationship with the wrong realtor, miss out on the perfect home, or even pay way more than you should. In today's video, I'm breaking down the Designated Buyer's Representation Agreement, step by step, so you can protect yourself, shop with confidence, and set yourself up for success when buying your home. If this is your first time here, I'm Odane Harding, a realtor here in the GTA. I specialize in helping first-time buyers, move-up buyers, and families make confident real estate decisions. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most important forms that you'll ever sign as a home buyer. Think of this video like your free home buying class. I'll explain each section of the form in plain English, and by the end, you'll understand exactly what you're signing and why it matters. Now, let's get started. Traditionally, when you work with a brokerage, everyone under that brokerage technically represents you as a client. But with a designated buyer representation agreement, you have a specific agent and not just everybody there at the brokerage. So that agent will represent your best interests at all times. Even if there are other agents that, for example, the home that we're going to buy is listed by somebody in my brokerage, I still represent you and it doesn't put us in a multiple representation situation. This structure keeps things clean and focused. It's like having a personal coach on your team while the other team has theirs. My job is to protect you, negotiate for you, and guide you through every step of the process. All right, now let's go through this agreement step by step so you fully understand it. And so there's no surprises. This section is about who is involved. You as the buyer and me as your designated agent through my brokerage. Here, we specify what type of home you're looking for, the location, style, and other details. This section outlines the start and end date of our agreement. We set this timeline realistically so you have the right amount of time to find the perfect home without feeling rushed or stuck. This clause clarifies the terms used in the agreement to ensure there's no misunderstandings between the parties as to the definitions of buyer, seller, and self-represented assistants, as they're referred to in the agreement. Now, this is what you've been waiting for, because this section explains how my commission works. Commission can be set up a few different ways. It might be a percentage of the sale price, it might be a flat fee, or even a mix of both. The key thing to know is that nothing is set in stone by law, the government, or even the real estate board. It's completely negotiable between you and the brokerage. Now, here's how it usually plays out. Most of the time, the seller or their listing brokerage covers my commission. In that case, I just receive that amount directly. Simple and straightforward. But here's where it matters to you. Let's say we agree in writing that my commission will be 2.5% of the sale price. If the seller's offering 2.25%, then you'd be responsible for the difference, which would be 0.25%. Think of it like going up to a restaurant where someone else usually covers the bill, but if they don't cover the whole thing, you only pay the difference. And to make sure there's never any confusion, if there's ever a situation where commission doesn't apply at all, we'll clearly write that out in a separate schedule so you're always protected and fully informed. On to page 2. Now this section explains what happens if my brokerage is connected to both sides of a deal. For example, I could be representing you while another agent in my office represents the seller. The seller might not have an agent at all, and we just provide them with basic assistance. If this situation comes up, I have to explain exactly how it works, give you the details in writing, and encourage you to get independent advice if you want. You don't have to agree to it, but if you don't give consent, we can't move forward with that deal as me representing both sides. And just to be clear, this part is only an overview. The actual disclosure in consent form is separate and would need to be signed if we went down that path. This section basically says that if you come across a property that fits what we've agreed you're looking for, you need to let me know right away. If you go ahead and make an offer on a property during our agreement, or even during the holdover period, without telling me or having me help you, you'd be responsible for paying the commission we agreed to. It just keeps everything transparent and makes sure we're both on the same page throughout the process. Indemnification. This section makes it clear that I'm not a home inspector or an engineer. My job isn't to determine the physical condition of the house or the land. If there's an issue that isn't spotted, you can't hold me or my brokerage responsible for it. Any details we get from the seller or the agent are passed along to you, but they're not guaranteed to be 100% accurate. That's why it's so important for you to do your own checks, like hiring a home inspector, which I recommend, or asking the right questions, so you know exactly what you're buying. Just to be clear, this doesn't take away from my responsibility to always provide you with professional, conscientious service throughout the process. This section is just about transparency. It says that our brokerage might receive some kind of financial benefit related to the deal. And by signing, you're okay with that happening in addition to the commission we've already agreed on. For example, let's say the seller's brokerage offers a small bonus to the buyer's agent if the home sells by a certain date. Or maybe there's a referral fee from a service provider like a moving company or a home warranty program or a lawyer. This clause makes sure that you're aware of it and gives me permission to accept it, so there's no confusion later on. It's all about keeping things open and upfront. And to be honest, I've never referred somebody to a professional that would give me a kickback, that's what we'll call it. And the reason I do that is I want you to be 100% certain in who I'm referring to you. I don't want you to think that I'm referring you to this person only because I'm getting extra money. We've covered a lot so far, and I know it can feel like a lot of information, especially if this is your first time seeing this agreement. Here's what I want you to remember. This paperwork is here to protect you. My promise to you is to always live out the old car acronym. O is for Odane. Of course, I'm joking. O is for obedience and following your lawful instructions. Because trust me, you get some people that want you to do some illegal things and I can't do it. L is for loyalty, which is always putting you first. D is for disclosure, sharing everything that I know so that you're informed and you can make the best possible decision. C is for confidentiality, protecting your private information. A is for accounting, keeping every detail organized and accurate. And R is for reasonable care, giving you my absolute best throughout the entire process. And just so you know, this is exactly why I created my home buying roadmap. It's a simple step-by-step guide that takes you through the entire process, so you don't feel overwhelmed or miss anything important. You can grab it by clicking the link in the description below. Or if you'd rather talk through it, you can book a clarity call with me and we can go through your situation together. Now back to the rest of the agreement. Now this section is just a heads up that a consumer report, like a credit report, might be used as part of the process when you're buying a home. It's basically letting you know upfront, so there's no surprises if your credit or background information is checked during the transaction. Now this section is all about privacy and how your information gets used. When we're buying a home, there's certain personal information we need to collect, like your name, contact details, and sometimes financial information to help with the process. This clause gives permission for that information to be shared only with people and organizations who need it, like the listing brokerage, lawyers, mortgage professionals, and FinTrack, Financial Transactions and Reporting Agency Center of Canada, so the deal can move forward smoothly and stay compliant with privacy laws. If you end up buying a home that was listed on the MLS, it also allows the listing brokerage to record the sale in the MLS database. That data can then be used for things like market stats, comparative market analysis, or other real estate purposes. Nothing outside of buying, marketing, and selling homes. The next section basically says that if we add extra terms to this agreement, like in a schedule, those terms conflict with anything already pre-printed on the form. The added terms are the ones that count. It also confirms that everything we've agreed to is right here in the document. There aren't any side deals or separate promises outside of what's written in this agreement. This section basically says that if someone is legally acting on your behalf, like through a power of attorney or an estate, they're also bound by this agreement. Even if something were to happen to you, the agreement still stands and continues to be valid through whoever is legally representing you. Electronic communication. This part says that we can handle everything electronically, signing documents, sending you agreements, or communicating about this deal. And it's all legally binding, just like you signed it with a pen and paper. It also confirms that you'll get a copy of anything you sign right away, which is required under TRESA, the Trust and Real Estate Services Act. Now this section goes along with the previous one. It gives consent to use electronic signatures so we can sign documents digitally instead of on paper, which keeps things quick and convenient. The next section confirms that I'm your designated representative, and my job is to guide you through the process and advise you on any offers we make so we can get you a deal you're happy with. This section is where you sign and confirm that you've read and understood everything in this agreement. It also says that everything that we've discussed is right here in this document or in a schedule. Nothing outside of what's written here counts. This part is for me or a realtor to fill out. It confirms that your realtor is properly insured as required by TRESA, the Trust and Real Estate Services Act. It's basically proof that I'm covered and operating by the rules. Finally, this is where you sign to confirm that you've received a copy of this agreement, and it shows the date you got it. It's just a simple way to make sure that everything is documented and compliant with TRESA. Now this is the Schedule A. This is where we add any additional terms that aren't already included in the main agreement. It also is an area where I can state exactly what I'll be doing for you as your buyer representative. Things like sending you properties, taking you to properties, opening lot boxes, getting an inspector, putting in offers, like any intricate detail I can think of, understanding what the market is saying and relaying that information to you. Things of that nature would be in this section A. It also clearly shows who this agreement is between, you as the buyer and my brokerage and myself as your representative, so there's no confusion about which agreement it's connected to. Think of it like an extension that keeps everything organized and tied to the right document. So now you know exactly what this agreement is and why it matters. It's not just paperwork. It's your protection, your clarity, and your peace of mind when it comes to buying a home. If you're ready to learn more about the process, download my free home buying roadmap using the link below. Or if you're ready to get started, book a free clarity call with me so we can create a plan to get you into your next home with confidence. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you found any value, or share this with a friend who's thinking about buying their first or their next home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.